You heard him. Slow ahead. Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
You go into the water. Sharks in the water. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
Jaws. 1975.
Nice.
That's all I got to say to that.
Nice. Have you seen Jaws before?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I know people that haven't seen
probably
it.
my fourth or fifth time watching it.
I don't know which time it is me watching it.
I've never seen any of the sequels, and I think I'm going to keep it that way because when I was looking up stuff about this movie earlier, I saw that Spielberg is not involved in a single one of the sequels.
Nah, dude, they're one of them. God, I don't know which one it is. Like one of the movies, the shark in the movie is the baby of that one,
man.
and but it's like it's mad that its mom died or whatever, so then it wants revenge.
See, that's
So I don't know if that's the fourth. I think that might be the fourth one.
I didn't know that this movie was based on a book until today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Are there sequels to the book? Like
That I don't know about. I think last name was Benchley that wrote the book.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a sequel. But you know, this movie was bad for sharks.
Yeah.
Apparently, what you never heard that before?
It was bad for sharks.
Yeah, dude. Or the book. I guess the book and the movie kind of coincided, and there's like a large uptick in like shark hunting and stuff like that.
Because of this?
Yeah, sharks are bad.
This does not make me want to hunt sharks.
Sharks are bad.
This makes me think that I might die if I go out on a boat. My takeaway is not to go hunt sharks now. It's to stay the fuck inside.
I am inclined to agree. I have
let them be. Let the sharks have all the water.
It's their home. You know, it's their house.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. If we all just stayed inside.
It's like if somebody came into my house.
Yeah.
And got mad at me for defending myself.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, I don't know. They tried to take my dinner.
I mean,
like, hey,
the first person that the shark eats in the opening sequence of the movie, she was in his house.
She was chilling. It was nighttime. He was eating dinner.
Yeah.
You know, not to be reductive.
Pulled up to his crib and
was flailing about like she was a sea turtle.
Yeah.
Because isn't that, they bring that up in the movie, but I think that's like, you know, the thing in real life is that like swimming about like that, sharks think that you're a sea turtle or a bird.
They want to come eat you because you're.
It looks like you're struggling to swim.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
something
easy
like
target.
That. Right, something like that.
Yeah,
And again, I think Hooper brings it up at some point in the movie. It's like the flailing of the swimming, it attracts the sharks and stuff like that. So.
Who's your favorite character in this movie?
Who's my favorite character?
Hooper. I was thinking he might be my favorite, but he's not.
Oh no, it's between Brody and Quint.
Yeah, I like Quint a lot.
He's great, man.
His arc is interesting.
Robert Shaw is electric in this movie. Like I told you, he died like 3 or 4 years after they made this movie too. He was only 50-something.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. He had a horrible problem with alcohol while they were filming this, and so they'd have to like go back and reshoot stuff because he was too drunk. Like he wanted to be a little drunk when they did the scene where they're actually drinking on the boat at night, where they're like all the characters kind of connect. And he was too drunk, and he had to go. He apologized the next day. He's like, "Hey, we got to do it again." Sorry.
He's too method.
Yeah,
he's too method. Did you like that scene, by the way?
Oh yeah, it's
not to be like.
That's I mean,
one of the most iconic scenes.
Yeah, other than like the scenes where they're like killing the shark.
Yeah,
that's the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, it's the God. That is probably like the top 5 most iconic, right? It's the first one when like the attack happens on the beach that day and it zooms in on Brody.
Yeah, what's that called? Is it vertigo?
I think it's the vertigo shot.
Vertigo shot.
Because it's like they're pushing in while zooming out, or zooming in while they're pushing out, pulling out rather.
That's a really cool shot, and it deserves the way people talk about it. But there are like much cooler ones in this movie, and I guess I never really watched it looking for that as a kid, which is most of the times I watched it. But watching it this time, like. You looked at me. You were like, "Look at that!" When he was standing out on the front of the boat.
Oh, and he's like yelling. He's like, "Oh, you can come out here and chum this shit." That part.
Yeah, and then we stand like at the tip of the boat, and you have like.
Yeah. And it was
that shot is awesome.
You're talking about Quint standing at there. Was it the bow?
Yeah.
The very front of the boat. Dude, don't even need to start trying to name the sides and parts of a boat. We'll get it all fucked up.
Yeah.
He's at the front end. I know what you're talking about. I was like, fucking look at that. He looks great, man. He looks triumphant in a way. He looks like he's got it all figured out. He's like, oh, I'm going to get this guy the next day. And that feeds into their whole drunken escapade, doesn't it? But he is probably my favorite character.
Yeah. Just like the tone of the movie changes a little bit the first scene he's in.
And he nails on a chalkboard, man.
Yeah.
He gives that whole speech. I was listening to something because a different podcast I was listening to. Just they were happily breaking down the history of it, and I think the story goes that it was like they punched it up. A different director did, like a different writer or whatever, and his like pages of that, and then Robert Shaw took it and like made it his own speech. He like took it, he like broke that down to like the bare essentials or whatever, because he was apparently an accomplished writer at some point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's so much about this movie that people have talked about endlessly that you could hone in on like a specific aspect of it and just prattle on for you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, his just his character seems like a guy that would he's like a Hemingway type, right?
Yeah.
Like he would write. You know?
Oh yeah, dude, he's great. I guess back it up for a second. We hopped on to do this movie. I told Jesse, I was like, we should do this special thing, 50th anniversary.
Yeah, tomorrow.
The 20th, I think. Is that tomorrow? It's 2 days from now, apparently.
Well, I'll edit this one quick so it can be up.
Dude. And I thought, why not? Why not do a classic? We do some I don't want to say odd picks, but you know, stuff we like.
Yeah.
This is a fucking classic, so why not do this one?
Yeah. I'm glad we did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you at the end of it, how do you feel about it?
Oh, it's a good movie. I was joking watching the first half. I was like, dude, I'm never gonna watch this again.
You're like, this is probably gonna be the last time I watch it.
Yeah, but
then you get to the end of it.
no, I mean, not even the end. You just get like an hour and 10 minutes in. Like so halfway through the movie,
Yeah.
an hour and 5, hour 10 in, and then it just transforms into something. Like I love, like the movie. I don't believe that there's any cutaways from them being on that boat for the last hour of the movie, right?
Oh no, they're on the boat the whole time.
Yeah, they're on the boat the whole time. You don't see. Oop, he hit the mic.
My fault.
You're dead. You're
My
dead.
fault. Don't beat me.
Boom. You're dead.
I'm so sorry.
That mic was $30. Man.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
God.
How dare you?
No
But-
cutaways, what you were saying.
Yeah, no cutaways. And I love a good encapsulated story like that, where you just get people out in the middle of nowhere, and you just stay with them for like the rest of the story. Like always I like that in movies. I can't think of one where that happens other than this,
Okay.
but I know that when it does happen, I like it.
Like kind of like a bottle film. I guess this is a little bit different because they get put
Yeah.
in a bottle at some point rather
Yeah,
than
yeah,
always
like
being
a
there.
bottle episode of a TV show is a good example. Like
Yeah.
you're right, and sometimes those can be bad because it's like they just had like
you're having to rely heavily
Yeah.
on the acting.
well, yeah, okay, yeah, that's something like I used to watch some of those CW DC shows, right?
Yeah.
And when I was probably 14 or 15, it was like the height of the Flash and Arrow at the same time, doing the crossover episodes and all that. And so the Flash, it's the second show they started making of those two, and they were doing stuff that required a higher budget. Luckily, it made more money as a show than Arrow, but they would blow their budget on something like an episode where they fight King Shark, like a huge walking shark, like in Star City or whatever.
Right.
And then a couple episodes later, you would get an episode where it's just the main cast, like 3 of the main cast.
Just like in a single
Yeah.
location or 2 or something.
Yeah,
like
we're just doing regular human stuff. Like it'd be an episode about the romance of the characters, and then it would really expose how bad the writing and acting is on the show.
Right.
Because when you can like do some cool effects, and then when you've got people that have read comics being like, oh, what character am I not going to see this week? That kind of distracts from bad writing. But I'll say when that's not the case, like Breaking Bad, they do a bottle episode. I think it's The Fly, right? It's Ryan Johnson directed that one,
yeah.
right? And he's that's like one of the lowest rated. That might be the lowest rated episode of the show.
Oh, I've argued with people about that.
But
Some of the episodes he did. Really.
yeah, well, he's directed the lowest and highest rated episodes of the show because he did Ozymandias, like the second to last one. Yeah, but I think that episode, The Fly, the bottle episode, that exposes how good of actors and writers and directors are working on that show.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? And I think that like this movie, and I went off on a tangent, but to bring it back, this movie,
I knew you were going to bring it home
yeah,
somehow.
seeing these 3 actors and Spielberg is just a beast of a director.
Oh yeah.
Right, like getting to see them at work, really, like it's just you're seeing the bare essentials of what you need to make a movie, and they're showing off how good they are.
Mm-hmm.
With
Absolutely.
those bits. So,
which is crazy to think, or not crazy to think, crazy to say that because they mesh, they go together so well.
yeah,
And those dudes like weren't even like the first choice to be like those roles.
really.
Yeah, like each one of those characters had different.
Do you know who was on a short list at all? Or?
Oh my god, there was I think at one point
David Schwimmer.
Yeah, it was David Schwimmer, and no, it was John Voight. I think was supposed to be Hooper. So like Richard, you know who John Voight is?
Yeah,
Angelina Jolie's dad. You know, National Treasure, wasn't he in that? Anaconda or something like that. He's been in a fuck ton of stuff.
yeah. I think I know National Treasure.
He said, "I think I know that old man." But yeah, I don't off the top of my head. I can't remember everything. But yeah, there wasn't a. I can't remember the names.
Damn, you let me down. I'm just kidding.
I can't make a gunshot.
It doesn't
noise.
really matter because they fill these roles so good. I don't even want to know who
He
else.
said, "I don't even care."
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when we were watching Chasing Amy, and I found out that they were trying to cast Jon Stewart and David Schwimmer, and who was the other? Who was the actress that they wanted to cast for Elizabeth? I was like, it kind of made me mad.
Oh, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, it was Drew Barrymore. I was like, these people did not need to. This would have been an entirely different movie with them, you know.
Yes.
But the music in this movie,
The John Williams score, beautiful. I don't want to say he won an Oscar for this movie. Did he
he
win an
should have,
Oscar for
dude. The
this?
score for this is better than Star Wars.
He might. I think he won an Oscar for this because I don't think he
Well,
won.
let me check. I mean, I genuinely think this score fits even better than the original Star Wars score does.
Yeah, because I think the last one he won was Schindler's List or something. All of this information that I'm telling you is also new information to me, but I think it's incredibly fascinating because this guy gets nominated constantly, or he's in like. It seems like he's attached to so many movies.
This was the first, and it was the first Oscar he received for his own.
He
music.
received it all. Okay.
Yeah.
That's insane, man.
Wow.
I know, right? We were talking a little bit about the differences between the book and the film,
Yeah.
which I thought you were talking about the difference in the actors. Like you was like, I can't. And you love the movie so much. This movie's like such a big, I don't know, like touchstone in American culture. You know, created the summer blockbuster.
Yeah, it's one of those things that
You know?
we say is American that actually is American.
Yeah, like
You
it's,
know,
it's
like,
very
this is
important in American cinema.
Yeah.
But the book was like the characters like hated each other. They were awful. You mentioned earlier when we were watching the movie that Steven Spielberg was quoted as saying that he hoped that the shark won at the end of the book.
Yeah.
He's like, these dudes are so nasty and awful that I hope
Are
that
they just
win.
like bad dudes? Like they just are all problematic?
So
or?
Brody and his wife argue the entire time. They don't like each other. Hooper shows up and starts sleeping with Brody's wife because I think they have a disagreement or something like that. Brody's wife like used to be a socialite in New York because she makes that comment in the movie about moving back to New York.
Yeah.
They move here. She misses her old life. This is in the book now. She misses her old like socialite life and all this stuff. So when she figures out Hooper is the younger brother of another man she used to date or whatever, she starts an affair with him.
With Hooper?
With Hooper, yeah. Like there's an
man.
affair. Yeah, there's like a
Dude, I'm
cucking.
glad they didn't do that.
There's like a cucking thing going on. Let's see.
The book
some
better
more-
have Brody feeding Hooper to the shark. At some
No,
point.
I'll get to that in a moment if you want to talk about it. But let's see what else going throughout the story. Some people in the movie, one of the old men I think actually dies in the book because you know how that kid that day on the beach that kid gets eaten.
Yeah.
I think that old man that got pulled out at sea or some elderly person I think gets eaten. It doesn't happen in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And then Quint, I think I mentioned this to you during the movie. He barely talks in the book, like not a very large.
Dude, some of
role.
his dialogue, his monologues are like the best in this.
Yeah, they're
best
incredible.
parts of
Right?
this
They're
movie.
incredible, right? Like he's
Yeah.
amazing. He like barely
Crazy.
talks. He's basically just Captain Ahab. Like the
Oh, yeah, you said
author
that. Yeah.
is just basically made him like this Captain Ahab fill in.
He just doesn't get the good characterization in the book.
No, he's like this.
Now I'm kind of curious to read it.
He's this hunter. He's literally just a hunter that's going after this gigantic creature Captain Ahab going after the white
What if this
whale.
book tells a more interesting story than the movie?
No, most. I was about to say. I mean, if you read it and you come away with that, I think you might be one of the few, like a very few.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most people say this is like one of the movies that like the movie is certifiably better than the book. Okay, let me just bounce through this real quick. Hooper eats it. When he goes down in the cage, you know, he falls out or whatever. He doesn't make it. The shark just eats him.
Okay.
He just gets
Okay,
got.
So they changed that.
He gets got. Captain Ahab, instead of him getting a gruesome death, sorry, not Captain Ahab, Quint.
Yeah.
It's a gruesome end in the film. In the book, the rope ties around his foot, drags him. The shark drags him beneath the water, and he drowns. And like because of those yellow barrels that they're attaching to Jaws or whatever. To the shark, I don't call him Jaws. But yeah, he drowns like that, Captain Ahab, and you know, spoilers for this 50-year-old movie. If you've never seen it, pause and go watch it. And the end of the movie, when he's like, shooting at him with his gun,
Yeah.
Brody is on this sunken ship. He's the last man standing. In the book, he's like sitting there just praying to God. He's like, please just make it quick, make it painless. Please don't let it hurt,
Yeah.
like this kind of shit. And the shark dies.
How does the shark die?
It succumbs to its wounds and just like as soon as it gets to Brody. And it's like it's apparently like the most anticlimactic ending to the book. And he's done.
I mean, that's a cool idea, but I do.
In practice, I get it because
Yeah.
like the way that it is like they have this big epic battle. Quint injures him with a harpoon. He injures the shark, and then throughout this like the struggle between like the guy in the cage and like just hitting the boat and all this stuff. Eventually, the shooting and whatever, he just bleeds out and he dies.
If they went with that ending, it wouldn't be quite the summer blockbuster.
No.
Because, for a while there, movies like this, things that are inspired by it, movies that do like a similar thing, they always end in an explosion. I mean, still now. I mean, you get a summer blockbuster movie that's not superhero, or like some sort of IP, it ends in an explosion.
It's
like
for
part
sure.
of the. So I mean, it definitely makes sense why they did that.
Another name popped in my head. Sorry, Charlton Heston. Like this was just going to be like an old man movie. Like I can't drive home to you. Like the original characters, like these were guys that were big in like the 60s.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They were going to put them in a movie
So,
in
like,
75.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like they were like it would not be the movie that we know it as today. It would be one of those movies. I don't even know what it would be, honestly. It was just not. I don't think it would be the smash that it was.
You think it might be more like Blazing Saddles-esque?
Do you think
revered,
it'd be
like-
funny? Or are you talking about like?
I mean, just
Yeah.
the way that like Blazing Saddles is an old man movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that movie. I just missed the opportunity to go see it in Oxford. I didn't know they were playing it. I wish I would have gone to see it, but. I think of that as an old man movie. This
Right.
doesn't feel like an old man movie.
I get what you. This is more ubiquitous with like summer and just
Yeah.
like
well, I mean,
blockbuster type, just like
just-
action type deal.
I mean, there's a few things in this movie that date it, right? Like, there's no cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
They're using, phones on the wall. But, like, everything else is like, this is just your beach town.
This
like,
is just anywhere. America.
Yeah, this is anywhere, anytime. This is a beach town. Like, and this, like, a shark coming up, like, I mean, this is a huge shark, right? So, I mean, there's some unbelievable stuff about it. But, like, a shark coming into, like, closer to the shore than you would expect it to, and, like, biting someone's leg off. Like, that happens. You know what I'm saying? That happens now. So, there's nothing about the 70s. Like, sometimes you watch an old movie and think, like, if they try to tell the story now, like,
it would seem kind of stilted, or just
or just it wouldn't happen like that because of cell phone.
the way they make movies now today too, and like the way society just kind of
Yeah.
is, like with a phone, like you said, like they have a phone, like you have access to anything and anyone you could want if you have a paid for cell phone.
But having a cell phone in the movie Jaws,
Right.
wouldn't have made much of a difference. And
you're right.
That's why it's like it doesn't feel like an old man movie because it could all happen now.
It's truly man versus nature.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we talked about some of the good shots in this movie, but I was saying to you that the way that this thing is filmed, it looks so clear.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful looking movie, and it just doesn't feel like your average 70s movie. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, with the way that it's shot.
It's
I don't know.
gorgeous.
And I think that kind of also catapults it up into something bigger than just an old man movie.
No, I get what you mean, because like if you had those old dudes in it, then it would not be, I don't know, it just wouldn't be something that we would really like readily understand, because like I don't really, I mean, I guess you could say I don't really have a touchstone to understand who these dudes are in the movie, but it's like I definitely don't know who the fuck Charlton Heston is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when
Actually,
I'm
no,
7,
actually,
he was in the 10 Commandments, but that came
Yeah.
out in like the 60s or whatever.
he was his name came up on something I was looking at on IMDb that I was about to watch the other day.
Dude, what was it?
I don't know. I'm curious.
He said, "I have no clue."
I'm gonna have to search it when we get in recording because I've heard that name very recently. So
He's old as shit. I mean, I think he's. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
he's old as shit. He's gonna die. He's dead, actually.
I was about to say that dude is like he's got. Hold on. Can we hit a fat pause real quick? I have to look that up now. Who was I talking about?
Charlton
Heston. 10 Commandments in school. Yeah, in one of my classes, in history class, one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a history teacher who was like, the Bible's history. I'm teaching world history. This is history about the world. And he's a football coach, and he's like, bring your Bible to class.
By God.
Yeah, like, he actually was like, I can't tell you to buy a Bible and bring it to class, but I'll have some here for you. So he'd pass them out. This is like world history class, dude. Like,
That's ridiculous.
and yeah, whatever. But
That's a little bit of a tangent. I'll meet you
this
halfway.
time watching 10 Commandments in school is.
I was about to say, I'll meet you halfway on that tangent. One of my my English teacher at my school, he was for like a seniors or 11th grade. Every year he would show Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's cool.
Every year he watched it. Like I watched it. That's how I got shown that.
That's a little crazy to show kids. How old were you?
Seniors.
See, okay, that's fine.
We were either seniors or juniors.
Yeah,
Pretty sure we were
that's
seniors.
fine then.
Yeah.
You went to a Christian school though, right?
I did.
That was allowed?
Yeah, dude.
They were allowed to do that?
He was so sick. It was dope.
Yeah, that's.
I'll tell you who it was later. But back to Jaws. What was your favorite part of the movie?
I think like my favorite scene in the movie, is probably like just like the last 30 minutes when they're like hunting the shark. You know, like that's like the best part.
Yeah.
I mean, it all builds to that. Like that's supposed to be your favorite bit of the movie.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, you know, for like that's the obvious, right? That's the most exciting bit of the movie.
Oh, of course.
But if we're going off of just like the rest of it, you know, like the scenes of like people actually like
like
interacting,
acting or whatever.
like. Yeah, the scene on the boat when it's at night and they're like drinking and they're showing each other scars. You know, Hooper and
Their
Gwen
battle
are showing-
scars.
Yeah, they're showing the scars and stuff.
yeah, that's
what was your favorite bit?
That was a great scene. I really love that interaction in the hospital after the between him and the mayor. It's really short,
Yeah,
but I love that part where he's trying to get him to sign the decree, and the mayor's like talking to himself, like he's like probably this close to having a mental breakdown, partly because he's an idiot and he didn't close the beach like he should have.
dude. Okay, that's another thing that makes this not such an old man movie. Because they still do shit like that. With COVID, people
man.
didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to get political, but it's like, there's a very obvious thing that you need to do right now.
Oh yeah,
And it's like, oh, but it would like hurt like the economy of the town, you know, and they do that. And it's like, you know, I've tried to watch this movie twice. I just don't care. I don't know why I don't care about it. But I tried to put on that Don't Look Up movie last night.
oh my God, that,
Yeah, I tried to get through it, but
that Leonardo DiCaprio.
yeah, and Jennifer Lawrence.
I hate that.
Yeah, there's something about it I don't like, but like, you know, there's a scene from that movie that popped up in my Facebook or Instagram reels lately that made me want to go like try to watch it again, and it was like where they're on the news and they're talking about like the asteroid coming, you know, like they're warning everybody, and then the newscasters are just laughing about it and making jokes, and it's like, hey, you know. But it just feels similar to like, it's a thing that we still see in real life and in movies now, you know, where they don't want to close down the beach when it's like obviously what you need to do to prevent these attacks from happening.
Oh yeah,
You
it's
know?
that's I wanted to say real quick. You just reminded me that was one of the. There's another difference between the book and the movie. There's like more detail about where they're at. So the reason that they don't want to shut the town down is that like they have, I think the population was
This
like
is the book?
1,000 people. This is the book.
Okay.
Just going into further detail. Obviously, this is like fluff. You know what I'm saying? If they put this in the movie, it's like another probably 10 minutes or something. Just exposition. You know? Anyway, the economy, or I'm sorry, the population balloons up to 10,000 during the summer when it's only like, I think he said like 1,000 or something like that. And that is how they make all their money. they like get all this massive amount of money, and then they live through the year until the summer comes back around, like through the winter or whatever. Okay. That's why Quint makes that comment about like you'll be on welfare by next winter or whatever.
That makes sense.
And I feel like they don't waste time on that, although it's an important bit of the film. Or I'm sorry, the kind of like why they don't want to shut down the beach. Where like it's the obvious choice is to shut down the beach, right? People people got eaten by sharks. That already happened once. But like some ladies, like 1 day or 1 week is like, she said 1 day is like 3 weeks, something like that. And that like I feel like kind of sums up everybody's feelings about like if we shut down, we're not gonna survive. Yeah. Much less these people on the beach are going to survive. None of us are going to live.
That might be the funniest part in the movie.
Yeah.
They're like, are we going to shut down the beach? Yes, just for a day. 1 day feels like 3 weeks.
Yeah, she's like, 24 hours only. He's like, I didn't agree to that. But they, oh God, it's so good. So good. That was a nice little touch. That was, you saying that reminded me about the book.
From what you've told me about the book, some of the differences like seem a little interesting. Like that might have been like that bit is maybe a little more interesting, I guess, to have had that. But like I said, it's already a 2-hour, 5-minute movie. But I'm glad that like the stuff with Hooper and the wife.
That's a horrible subplot.
I'm glad that they cut that. That seems like that's a win for this movie.
Definitely.
You know, I am interested to see what Jaws 2 is about. I don't know that I.
Let's do it.
Let's
do it.
Jaws, I don't know that I want
2 through 4, baby.
I don't know that I want to commit to watching it all the way through and then having to talk about it afterwards.
Dude, we could watch 2 through 4, and we don't have to talk about. We should talk about as an umbrella.
All right, maybe. I just want to know where they go. Like, I mean, I just feel like this is like. I mean, you know, it makes sense. Like when you have a successful movie, you want to turn it into a franchise. This is the time period in the film industry where we really see that start to happen, you know,
fighting like the student I can't talk. The film student kids are starting to come out into the world and start directing movies and stuff.
Yeah, but people are trying to make franchises out of everything, you know, within like 5 to 10 years of this movie coming out. So it makes sense they'd want to try and do another one. But I feel like just looking back, watching this movie, this feels so complete. It's like there's nothing. Like, they don't even give you any story at the end after they fight the shark. Like, the whole, you know, after they kill the shark, the whole thing in the movie is like, we got to kill the shark, it's killing people. We kill the shark, we're done. They kill the shark, they're done. You know, like.
The end of the movie.
Yeah, there's nothing else afterwards. I was expecting there to be more, and there wasn't. And I just feel like it doesn't do anything that would, there's no plot point watching this movie. You're like, oh yeah, if they left that unresolved, we could do another movie.
Yeah, we can make another one.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, like, what the second one has to offer. Like,
so Roy Scheider's back in it, and what it is I think the way that they played the second one, because I've seen the second one and the third one, because I mentioned to you during the movie that Dennis Quaid's in the third one. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But the second one is like people think he's crazy because like he's like there's a fucking shark out there. There's like another shark. He's like it came back. The shark came back because like people are like disappearing and dying, and there's like an orca washes up on the beach or whatever. And as we all, you know, you can guess, he's like, I'm fucking right. And then there's another shark. The third one, I don't know if that's the baby that's like coming back for revenge. A young great white shark infiltrates the park from the sea. I don't know, man. Oh yeah, he goes to SeaWorld and starts killing people. That one's in 3D.
Dude, the shark goes to SeaWorld and kills
I think
people?
so. I don't think it's actually,
What?
Yeah, the Brody children from the previous films to SeaWorld, a Florida marine park with underwater tunnels and lagoons. As the park prepares for opening, a young great white shark infiltrates the park from the sea, seemingly attacking and killing the park's employees. Once the shark is captured, it becomes apparent that a second, much larger shark also entered the park and was the real culprit.
And Spielberg is not a part of any of these, right?
No way, dude. This one was directed by Joe Alves. Jaws 2 was directed by Jeanette Swark. I think that's how you say that. And then 4, I don't even know what the fourth one's called, but I think there's a fourth one. Anyway, yeah.
Jaws 4D.
Dude, 4D's
They give you some smell. They give you the smell of the fucking ocean while you're in there.
Oh, it's called Jaws the Revenge. And Joseph Sargent directed that one. Oh yeah, that one's got Michael Caine in it.
What?
Yeah, dude, I forgot about that. Yeah, Michael Caine's in it.
You know, when did that one come out? Do you have the year on that one?
For Jaws: The Revenge,
Yeah.
specifically, it came out in 1987.
Wow, so they made 4 movies in a decade.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. I always find it funny when they'll make a movie now that it's like, like a movie company will make a movie that's like a reboot of something from before, or like a remake or whatever, and that they'll cast somebody that was like alive and old enough to be in the original, in the remake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that kind of feels like Michael Caine is old as shit. Yeah. Michael Caine could have been in the first one.
Oh, easily. I mean, to put it in perspective for you, he was born in 1933.
Yeah, I mean, he's like
Old as fuck.
he's 50 years old, 55 years old, 54 years old when they made the
He
the
could have
fourth
easily
Jaws movie.
been
Yeah.
somebody in the first movie. Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna watch all of them, right?
Maybe.
Do you think? Because this movie is basically like Jaws is like kind of sort of like the blueprint, especially for like a shark movie, right?
Yeah.
For the summer blockbuster.
I
Whatever.
can't think of a shark movie like this before this. That I know
That, I
of.
mean, can you think of a shark movie that like doesn't kind of suck?
No.
That's not just Jaws.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like a super shark hater because there's some shark movies I love, like Deep Blue Sea. I've got a place for that in my heart, even though it might not be a great movie.
Well, I just know there was a certain point when I was a teenager where my friend's mom, she was a manager at the movie theater, so he and I could go sit in the movies during the day after school and do our homework because there was like nobody in them.
Right.
It's like 3 p.m.
For sure.
movie. So I saw just about everything that came out, but it felt like there for about 2 or 3 years that like every 3 or 4 months there was a shark movie or a tornado movie or like a twister movie. Like it was like something like that, like some sort of like movie like that.
What year? Do you know like the year that was?
2013, 14, 15.
Dude, the natural disaster craze that we went through as like a nation, maybe as a planet. I don't even know.
I just know that half
That's
the theaters were showing
2012.
Yeah.
That fucking movie 2012.
Yeah,
I think my dad has seen that movie on cable. Like that's got to be his like top 10 most watched movies like ever.
Dude, I was terrified of that movie because
That movie's so goofy looking back at it.
yeah.
Fucking
Well, I mean, I was
Cusack's
like,
hairline.
it came out in 2012, right?
Like that or like 2013, because the whole Mayan calendar thing or whatever.
But this kind of started that. That was the point, right? And that's the point we were trying to make.
I mean, I don't even think specifically to the natural disasters, but like the shark movies and everything.
Bro, did you hit the pen or something before we came back to finish recording this?
I just can't fucking take it. I can't fucking take it.
Okay, we're gonna be honest right now. We lost about 10 minutes of recording.
As we did this, as we did it.
Yeah, we didn't realize, and we didn't really say much after the natural disaster thing. There was just more of a conclusion here. It worked in.
It was very natural.
It was very natural, but now it's not. But I'm leaving this here.
We'll cut some of it.
Yeah, I cut some of it up, but I'm leaving some of this here as an explanation for why things feel disjointed. But anyway, most of the movie talking we did about this movie, we got to keep.
Yeah, no, we love them. I love the movie. It's a great movie.
Good movie.
Glad we watched it.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna watch Jaws 2 through 4.
Yeah, let's do it.
Also, I figured out in the interim period, 4 ignores the events of 3 and is a direct sequel to 2. It's one of those kind of things.
Man,
Hey man, SeaWorld.
so 3 must have been really bad then.
SeaWorld.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 3
is
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
3 World.
3 World.
All right. You got anything else to say about this movie, man?
Fucking, I don't want to go in a boat in the middle of the ocean to fight a shark.
Jaws.